Hi, it's Cypris. Welcome back. Pour a cup and pull up a chair. I've decided to go all in. I have spent the last several years grieving all the parts of me that died, still waiting to bloom. But today, I embark on a new journey. Will you join me? Our world is at a crossroads. The energetic landscape is shifting. And as someone who has always struggled with the very air on this planet, I can't help but notice that something is different. I'd say something's off, but for the first time in my life, it's starting to feel right. Today, we're going in deep. There's a sea change happening in the way things flow. It's almost like in that show, Once Upon a Time, where the Wicked Witch's curse brings everyone to our world precisely because it's a realm where magic doesn't work, right? Remember that? So that anti-magic dampening field, it seems to me to be lifting. In the last several months, I've been noticing changes in the patterns of things. And I'm confident it's not just me that's changing because I had my own major changes to my energy field completed well over a year and a half ago. My ability to leave the house and be around humans, even crowds of humans, significantly improved. And for the last 18 months or so, I've been very much enjoying that new power and freedom. But recently, there's a shift. And to my surprise, I'm not the only one who's noticing. Everywhere I look, the energy intuitives who put out content are all saying something very similar. The new vibration, the great shift for humanity, it's not just coming, it's here. It's happening now and all around us. It's early yet, but I know that many of you out there are already feeling it too, and it's feeling a little different to everyone. But what we seem to agree on is that reality feels different, or reality is playing out differently. I started to notice it early in the summer. I had, a moment. I was shopping at the Bins, the Goodwill Outlet Center, which can be chaotic, but because of the work I've done on myself and because I really vibe with thrifting, I can get in there and enjoy it and not get overwhelmed. Well, I was there for a while, just going bin by bin, digging for treasures. And it wasn't very busy there that day, so I could really focus, and I got into a bit of a groove, almost meditative. Occasionally, people would interact with me, either chit-chat about our finds or someone noticing my phone was conspicuous and helping me better secure it. Or just tiny things like I accidentally pushed the bin too hard and shoved it into someone on the other side. I apologized, of course, and the other person was really understanding. She even seemed surprised that I'd even cared enough to apologize. And I get that reaction because that's very much my vibe. The rude apathy of people in public places is astonishingly common. So, as I shopped, I realized that I was having consistently positive interactions with my fellow bins goers. This is not normal. Like once or twice in a day, sure, but almost every human interaction was positive. And the few slightly rude people there, I only encountered tangentially. This may not sound all that weird, but the ratio was very off. In the entirety of my life, it's just never, not once, been that pleasant to deal with humans. With the exception of small curated groups or one-on-one relationships. And it wasn't just the bins. It's been at the grocery store and the post office and hiking at the park. I was standing there in that junk and treasure-filled warehouse, and I realized that I had been, and still am, existing in some kind of twilight zone where things seem normal on the surface, but something is very, very different. But different in a very good way. I don't know. It's like the Earth's random events generator has been rewired, and it's directing me, maybe everyone, into more auspicious interactions or situations. And when I was standing there at the bins, having this realization, what really struck me was that this flow of things was more like what I expected reality to be like when I arrived here. I just kind of stood there and thought to myself, and this is a self-quote, "This is the world I thought I was coming to." It would be very easy not to trust this. I've learned over and over again that anything good will get yanked away if I relax into it, if I let myself enjoy it. But I will not let this moment pass. I have only trauma invested in that old, brackish flow. So even if this new, clean, fresh flow is somehow an illusion, I'm willing to dive in completely. It's time to remember, or relearn, how to ride the flow of the cosmic ether. It's just a little shift. For the stuff of heaven, of the other side, of home, it's not far away. It's all around us. If we can phase shift or vibrate in the so-called fifth dimension. To me, it's a warm, dark blanket of love. As some have said, the womb of God. We all exist there, always. Even as we experience mortality and all the brutality that comes with it, we are never not in that space of home. We just can't see it or feel it while we are anchored here. But we can. It's time for me to remember how to see the world and others from this vantage. To that end, I think mortality is like a fungal bloom. No, hear me out. Each of us has a brief mortal existence, much like a little mushroom erupting from the forest floor. But that little mushroom, that's not really us. It's not who we are. It's just a brief little extension or expression of ourselves into this realm. That mushroom we see is just the fruiting body, the flower, and the real mushroom, the mycelium network beneath the soil, is where that being really lives and exists. And that warm, dark womb of the cosmos is where our real selves exist. Even though 3D reality convinces us we are just a little mortal fungal bloom. But even as mortals, we get glimpses. Sometimes we can see the divine in another's eyes. And our auras, our chakras, that's all part of our real selves. They're the boundary or umbilicus between us in the cosmos and us in our bodies. This is the vantage I desire, because I want to recall what I have forgotten about riding the flow. I used to know, but I had to let it go when I was young because I learned again and again that this world doesn't work right. So now this world is changing and we have the opportunity to change with it. This is the moment in space-time so many of us have spent our lives waiting for. It's here. It's begun. And all we really have to do is lean into it. I think that if I can keep my vision shifted enough of the time to see the flow, I can read the waves of cosmic ether. It's not that I hope to control that ether. One might as well expect an ocean to obey voice commands and ignore the moon. But if I can read the flow, I can not just ride it, but I can steer. For the first time in all these years, perhaps, I can steer on that flow. Perhaps I can bridge the cosmic and the mundane. Perhaps I can take upon myself the dark mantle of the deep black blue of cosmic space. Perhaps I can remember better my connection with the realm to which our spirits are anchored and shed the human lens from off my spirit's eyes, if only for moments at a time. And I can look out and see the cosmic threads. If I can do this, I expect to be more successful in operating my life and navigating around humans. Reality check. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. That is, I'm trying to pick myself back up from where I was when I was still in single digits. And that's been a hot minute. I remember that I chose to abandon my view of reality because it was proven invalid at every turn. Eventually, I took the advice of other people about what the rules are in this world, about how it all works. And you know something? They were all dead ass wrong. The rules of engagement for human life that I was presented with by example and direct instruction never, ever worked out for me. I bet a lot of you have found this too. The stories we've been told about how to live our lives do not track. The human rules for success constantly, consistently contradict experiential outcomes. And for me, those old rules did me dirty. So dirty. Eventually to the point of complete existential nervous collapse. So, I'm going back to my basics, and that is leading with heart energy. Our planet of the apes, miraculously, is waking up to the vibration of divine love. It's not happening very quickly, and this is because, as others have noted, it's tuning so slowly because so many people are just not there. And it can be painful to make that shift. And we've got to have everyone on the boat, so to speak. Now, me, I had given up on such a global transformation ever happening in my lifetime. And I still don't believe it will be complete for many, many decades. But oh, the thrill of watching it begin to roll in. A feeling that wind pick up. And hearing those first rumblings in the distant hills. As this great shift wends its way into our world, I intend to welcome it with my whole chest, with my heart chakra actually open. I want to tune myself into that cosmic vibration. I want to tread the cosmic flow. I want to see my efforts actually pay off. For the first time in my life, I want to live in a world that has meaning. Now, do I dare imagine that in this strange new world there is a place for me? Can I even conceptualize that? I am a true hermit. And I have made peace with that. But we who feel this shift in the weather of the world's soul, those of us so eager to embrace what comes, we are a community. We are connected, for together we hear this call. As unlikely and motley a crew as we may be, we are the vanguard, the ushers for a new age, for a world that is more aware of and receptive to the collective beat of the higher heart. So, here we are, in the days before the world was changed. We are living at the end of what will someday be called the Earth's Dark Age. This is perhaps not an enviable time to exist in, but I am very much enjoying having a front row seat to the dramatic whirlwind of change. So, I guess, go grab some popcorn. We can watch it all unfold together. Thanks for watching, Wild Things. I'll see you in the next one. What are you doing? Don't eat the popcorn. You don't want to get the kernels in your teeth. I'll help you eat it later. Yeah?